As Americans, we need to choose what kind of a country we want to live in. We want to live in a clean, safe, and stable country, or a dirty, dangerous, and unstable one. Right now, the party in power has delivered the latter. There are left-wing district attorneys across America working tirelessly to keep people out of jail. The one job designed to imprison, the district attorney, has been flipped. Now you have criminals being defended by their lawyer and also being defended by prosecutors. And as a result, crime has skyrocketed. Crime records being shattered across the country. New homicide records in a dozen mostly Democrat cities. More drugs, more shootings, more theft, more misery. After a 2020 assault on cops, of course, that emboldened criminals and made it nearly impossible to deter crime.
Over the past 2 years, homicide rates have jumped nearly 40%. Police departments across the country are fighting to contain this increase in violent crime, but they are understaffed, under-resourced, and struggling to hire and retain good, qualified officers.
But here's the thing, Democrats, by and large, don't like crime. Most agree it's bad and crime needs to stop, so why? With all the evidence, do they continue to do this? Why do Democrats still support these radical district attorneys? Why the self-inflicted gunshot wound? Well, a great explanation into their logic is summed up in this op-ed from two researchers that was published in The Hill. Most people think the law enforcement protects us from crime through punishment. The idea is quite simple. People fear punishment and hence they do not commit crimes. This is called deterrence. The problem is that there is no conclusive evidence that strict punishment in and of itself deters crime. Well, the huge spikes in crime right now is probably evidence that harsher punishment would deter crime, but that is actually what a lot of these people believe. And perhaps in a perfect liberal utopia where all wealth, health, and happiness are evenly distributed, this may be true. When you don't have anybody that wants to commit a crime, maybe you don't need policing to deter it. But yet again, the liberals are not living in the real world, and they seldom do. And they never, ever seem to govern in the real world. Increasingly, Democrat policy is written by people who went straight from a rich suburb to an East Coast university and straight into a left-wing D.C. think tank, government job, or lobbying position. They are not in this world with us. In this world, when you stop deterring crime, you get the situation that we have today. And it's a reality, for some reason, we have to prove time and time again. Much of this radical left-wing policy took hold in the summer of 2020, when the death of career criminal George Floyd inspired an assault on police that did only one thing: created much more death, misery, and injustice in all of America's inner cities. You remember, extreme leftists were celebrated by the mainstream media. Looting was ignored by the police. Crime was ignored by police, as limp-wristed big city mayors kowtowed to the mob and told their police forces, "Don't arrest."
That ain't a riot, what we're seeing right now in Minneapolis.
And they've taken a principled stand to stand against white supremacists and white nationalists wherever they may show up.
Any reasonable person would say we shouldn't be destroying other people's property, but these are not reasonable times.
But thank goodness for the looters, man.
Thank goodness for the looters, man. They loot your house, jackass. Looters were deserving, cops were evil, the bottom of our society relished in this moment. The rest of us were mortified. Here's some video that I took in Lower Manhattan. This is Soho in the spring of 2020. I've showed it on the show before. I've never seen anything like this in a normal American city. Cops were standing by watching this. These punks just climbing out of high-end stores with bags full of goodies, and nobody wanted to do anything about it. That's the world Democrats are slowly creating with these kinds of policies. That's still not that dissimilar from the world we live in today. You've seen the videos. In Portland, Oregon, the city council slashed millions from police budgets. It's so bad that in Portland, a city of 650,000, pretty big town, there is just one full-time traffic officer. That's how depleted the budget is. For the month of January 2022, New York City saw a 38.5% increase in overall index crime compared with January of 2021. It's so bad that basic items are being locked up to avoid the looters. Even things like toothpaste. Everything is under a lock when you walk into some of these stores. And here's one of the fiercest proponents of crime who's now complaining about all of the nice things in his Duane Reade or his Walgreens being locked up. This is Rich. Take a look.
You go to a local pharmacy, Duane Reade or Rite Aid, any of them, and you've got to get someone to help assist you. I mean, they have the little button there.
Yep.
You hit the buzzer, and the guy comes over and unlocks your toothpaste.
Oh, man, poor Al Sharpton. He's got to wait for his locked-up toothpaste. How could things have gotten this bad? I mean, I can't understand it, he says. Well, what's going on, Eric Adams? He's talking to the mayor. How could you have let things get this bad? Well, I don't know, Al. Maybe it was comments like this that we heard for about a year in 2020. Take a look.
The black community's got to be terrified. You live in a state of terror when you have to be afraid of the cops and the robbers. You can't have peace till we have justice. I thought y'all heard me a long time now say, no justice, no peace.
You had mainstream media figures like Al Sharpton, works for NBC, telling everybody that they have to be afraid of police. And you know what? People just stopped listening to police. Police were now the enemy. Nobody has worked harder to destroy policing and embolden criminals in this country than people like Al Sharpton. The fact he had the nerve to go on TV and complain about the situation in his city is just hysterical. It's actually impressive, his capacity to lie. But he's been lying his whole life. From the New York Post, and getting rich off it too. From the New York Post, the only precinct in Manhattan to not see its crime rate jump was the 22nd precinct, the one that covers Central Park. Only the squirrels are safe, another cop added wryly. It's a good quote. More examples. A federal judge sentenced a Rochester man Friday to 10 years in prison in connection with a fatal pawn shop arson during unrest over George Floyd's death in 2020. This guy lit a pawn shop on fire because police are bad and everybody's racist. So he lit a pawn shop on fire that was owned by a black guy, and he only gets 10 years for killing somebody. Killed him. And not that it should matter, but the person that he killed was black, Oscar Lee Stewart Jr., on the screen there, 30-year-old man, father of 5 kids. But you've never heard of him. Of course you haven't heard of him. Black Lives Matter didn't go on CNN every day talking about Oscar Lee Stewart Jr. because Oscar Lee Stewart had a job and paid taxes. He had a family. Black Lives Matter can't do anything with a guy like that. They don't care about guys like that. He doesn't move the needle for them. So he gets ignored. You've never heard of that guy. But he got killed. The truth is, liberals believe a utopia is going to come on the other side of policies like this. That is why you're seeing this. That's why we continue to watch the decay of our society, and they keep doubling down on it. They think that if you stop punishing crime, at some point criminals will just stop committing it. They're going to kill crime with kindness. That is the messaging. That's the far left on crime. That's what they believe. Earlier this week, the Washington Free Beacon reported on this $30 million program to fund crack pipe distribution in order to advance racial equity. One of the funniest stories I've heard in a while. Now, 48 hours later, the White House is at least partly attempting to deny the report.
Does the administration support any effort then to distribute drug paraphernalia, like the pipes that we were hearing about?
The statement makes clear that we don't support federal funding, indirect or direct, for pipes.
The great thing about Psaki is whenever anything is not clear at all, and whenever they have no clue what they're doing and they get caught with their pants down, the first thing she says is, "It makes very clear." She just has that snarky little, "Oh, it's so clear. How could you have any confusion? Because we're so clear and we're so perfect." Sure. The same party that's totally fine with handing out syringes to heroin addicts would never in a million years hand out crack pipes to crack addicts. They would never do that, right? The short answer on this is they got caught, but the insight into their logic is what we need to focus on here. After watching San Francisco be destroyed by safe injection sites for heroin, the liberals in Washington still somehow decided to try and send out crack pipes. So they say, "Oh, wow, look at how awful we've done. Look what we've done to San Francisco. We've effectively destroyed this city. Let's do it again." How scary is that? There's no convincing these people otherwise. It literally is a cult, and it's a very dangerous one. And if you want to live well in America, and if you want a clean and safe city, your only choice is to vote dramatically differently, because these people will not stop until New York looks like Tijuana.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.